Hey folks, this is Shane Greer, co-owner and co-publisher of Campaigns and Elections, back for another video interview, this time sponsored by Zairmail, and I'm here with Wilson Zair of Zairmail, and as the name suggests, we're going to be talking direct mail, Wilson.
Hi, Shane. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thanks for
And I
having
should
me.
say, direct mail is one of the, we talk a lot these days about targeting in campaigns, but when you think about like the originator of hyper individualized targeting, it's direct mail. So it's always good fun to chat about this subject. Let me just ask a really broad one, right? So much of the conversation now focuses on technology, artificial intelligence, all of that. Why direct mail? Why is direct mail relevant? What is it? What does it deliver that other platforms maybe don't?
That's a great question, Shane, and we can go a lot of different directions with that. But I think the most basic answer is that you know, it, it's proactive communication. So you don't have to wait for people to find you. You can reach out and find them. And it has the potential to reach every household and a business in America 6 days a week. And there are very few other mediums that allow you to do that. And then also getting back to this idea of precise targeting you mentioned in your first comments. If I wanted to find Jewish dentists in New Jersey that bought a car in the last 6 months, I could find that list. It exists for direct mail,
Mhm.
maybe not so for digital. And I guess the final point is that, it's kind of built into the American psyche. People are used to getting home in the evening, getting mail, sorting through it. They don't react the same way to it as they might to a telesales call or a commercial or something like that. It's just part of the routine. And that's why overall, if we look at the direct mail industry, the Direct Marketing Association tells that it returns $13 for every dollar spent. So it's, for the right type of promotions, it's hugely effective.
And spinning to the campaign industry, this, as I say, has been kind of the oldest tool of voter supporter engagement, and still a significant area of spend for campaigns, especially larger campaigns. Do you feel that campaigns are making enough use of it? Is there a case for campaigns to make more use of direct mail?
I do. I think that there's definitely an opportunity to use more of it, especially in some different ways. I mean, we'll talk about um, when you talk about the kind of mail we do when it's mail on demand. For example, I can give you one example. In Oregon, it's vote by mail. So when you're dealing with a vote by mail, some people, when they get their ballots, they just vote. They don't wait for election day. They just vote and put it in the mail. Some of them wait longer. So if we have a targeted tool that's able to deliver mail very fast, we can arrange to have a message in their mailbox the same day they get their ballot.
Mhm.
Oh, and we can come back and remind them again just before the election when that ballot needs to be placed. So to make sure that they don't, forget to do that. So there are other things like that that we can do that are time related, targeting related. I can take a voter file and I can suppress that or against specific demographic um, kinds of characteristics. Like, for example, we worked on a campaign here locally that was for a school bond measure. And of course, people who are, the way those bond measures work is that people who are homeowners pay for the bond in their taxes. So homeowners are likely to perceive that bond measure differently than renters. And in particular, homeowners with children are a lot likely to see it differently than homeowners that are retired that don't have children. And so if we can segment the market like that and into those different pockets and hit each one with a specific message that explains how this bond measure works for them, we have a lot better chance of being successful rather than just taking one message and just blasting it to everybody.
Um, Timing and speed, that's something I wanted to talk about because in political campaigns, speed is everything, timing is everything. And with direct mail, of course, you have the added challenge of getting the delivery times right. Can you talk about both timing and speed in the context of political direct mail?
Sure. Yeah, no, it used to be historically, if we were trying to get a direct mail piece out the door, we'd talk to, 7 to 10 days. We'd be working on blue lines. We'd go back and forth. We've created a platform in Zairmail that really allows you to be in the mail in 60 seconds, for delivery next day. And usually with first class mail these days is about 94% next day in a local area, 2 to 3 days nationally. So I mean, if I know, for example, when they mail the votes in Oregon is public information. I know when those ballots are going in the mail, and I just back out 3 days and schedule it, and I can be very precise about that. Um, so honestly, from a timing perspective, it what it says is rather than just spray and pray, as you would, what we can do is start from the election date and work backwards. What are the significant events? What do we have to have in place? And then we can build our campaigns around it, and we can hit those dates based on the tools that are available today. Um, Now, in terms of speed, so there's an element of speed to that. That's speed and timing. But then there's other things that happen, like responding to environmental events, right? Something happens that we didn't expect. Somebody makes a statement. There's some turmoil in a far off land, and how do we respond to that? Well, it used to be, if you're thinking about a time horizon of 7 to 10 days, it's very difficult because by the time we respond, the environment could have changed again.
Mhm.
But if we're able to get out there and get in front of it with our message, we can really ride that wave rather than just being, responsive.
Mhm.
So it gives us a lot of more flexibility to do things that were very difficult in the past.
Yeah. And just talk to me about what Zermail brings to the table. What's your USP for the political market?
Was that Shane?
Yeah,
Excuse me.
for you with Zermail, what is it that sets Zermail apart? What does it bring to the table for political campaigns that's different?
Oh, it's a good point. Yeah, so Zairmail is really we came out of the technology industry. We're a technology company rather than a traditional printer. Although we do printing and mailing, we do a ton of printing and mailing, but we've built out a distributed network of production facilities across the United States. We originally invented the concept of hybrid mail, working with the U.S. Postal Service. Hybrid mail meaning something starts out digital and becomes printed mail that ends up in a home. And because of technology and a platform we built, it's just faster, easier, more reliable. I mean, you can literally, you upload a document, upload a list, you see a proof in real time. You like what you see, you push the button and you're in the mail tomorrow the next day. It's just really that simple. And because it's a technology solution, we can integrate it with other kinds of things. We can build it into a CRM system. We can build it into a website. We can create other kinds of applications that add value. You want to build a site that's going to send letters to your congressman or congressman? We can do that, right? I mean, that all becomes pretty straightforward. I think the other thing is that we do offer other kinds of services that are important, that as marketers we felt were important to us, that may not be um, mainstream for every print and mail house. So for example, if you upload a document and it's not quite finished yet, we have a team that'll finish it for you, give you another proof to prove, and get it out. We'll help with proofreading. We'll help with sourcing lists. Anything it takes to get your job in the mail and help you be successful, we feel like that's our job too.
Yeah. I,
And we usually there's no extra charge for that. It's all part of what we do.
I'm looking forward with direct mail because one of the things that I've been struck by is people think of it as kind of an older thing, and of course it is in some ways, again, the oldest thing, but there's a lot of innovation happening. I mean, one of the things I often think about now is some of the interesting ways people are using informed delivery in their mailings. What do you see the future holding? What's next in direct mail?
And it's a great question. I mean, we're working on a lot of different things. I mean, though, right now, you know, I mentioned we have a distributed network nationwide, so of course we're expanding the network and we're expanding the kinds of things that could be produced in it. Mostly print production now, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, you know, we can do fulfillment of any kind, really. But we're also doing, working on some unattended sequential mailing. So for larger mailers with lists that we reuse over and over again, we have a lights out solution that'll just take care of that. We'll manage the whole thing. We're looking at intelligent routing. So one of the interesting things about the postal network is that there's, you know, well, if we look at our network, we have different things that can be produced in different locations. But the Postal Service also has intricacies about their network and what's performing and what's not in any particular time. And we have access to tracking information. All of our jobs go out with real-time tracking. So you can see what, you know, where it is in the postal stream, when it was delivered, be able to plan follow-up activities. But we using all of that information to move messages around electronically as far as we can, and then turning them to print in the way that'll optimize delivery. And so that's, I wouldn't, you know, I think the term artificial intelligence is pretty overused right now. So I would call this real intelligence
Yeah.
based on the
I like
information.
I'm gonna steal that.
It's fine, based on the information we have in the network, you know, and it's real-time information. We know what mail delivery times look like yesterday. And, you know, unless something has changed, we have a pretty good idea what they're gonna look like tomorrow too.
Yeah.
And so we can plan based on that. And then we have a bunch of stuff that's just has to do with scheduling and integration and try to make this process seamless. You know, it used to be that you had to be an expert at so many things, and CRM and demographics and lists and you know, a lot of different things in order to pull them together and to create a you know, kind of a seamless solution. And you know, we feel like it's our job to do that for you, to make it fast and easy and allow you to create a solution that makes a difference right from the beginning.
Listen, Wilson, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you to Zairmail for sponsoring. If you want to learn more, click wherever the link is, depending on where this video is. But Wilson, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Shane. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.